Hey guys, HippieClectic Hope Yang videos. Denver Public Schools has a peace sign, Aaron. Denver Public Schools has a snow day, so I attempted to take Munchkin with me to physical therapy this afternoon, but my car won't start.
No.
I need a battery and an alternator for my car, or else it's not moving.
Oh, did they be dead too?
And I need my car for doctor's appointments, groceries, and all that. You know, I can't walk to it.
Oh, we're so terrible.
Sweetest heart, please, can Mommy do the talking?
Yep.
Thank you, honey.
We do it together.
I love you, Bunny. I know you're trying to help. But, you know, I need my car for everything because, you know, I can't take the bus. I can't walk to and from bus stops. I can't lug groceries.
Yep.
You know, and I sure can't manage Aaron to go to, you know, to and from bus stops and etc. Even, you know, even the walk to school is a nightmare, you know, when the car won't work once or twice. You know, Aaron, that's enough. That's enough, Bubs. Oh, now we're going to be cranky, but... Well, you know, obviously he hasn't gotten a nap today either. But, you know, basically, you know, I need this car to do everything that I need to do to be a mom. And, you know, this Chevy, I'll show you a few things, details and features. But, you know, this car was picked by our former owner as, you know, a last-ditch effort to keep us dependent on him.
Yeah.
You know, to keep us stuck because this car is in constant need of repair and I can't, you know, afford to fix it. So, you know, I'm dependent, you know, it was his aim to keep me dependent on him and his abuse in order to keep the car and keep my son and me alive. So, you know, I was able to fly cardboard a little to get the tune-up done so the car doesn't die at intersections. But, you know, it runs decent, I just can't start it now. The starter and the battery are both out. Because a jump start got me going the other day, but now I'm getting this click, click, click. I'll see if I can show you. Yeah, I don't know if you hear that clicking, but I'm pretty sure that means my starter's out. It wasn't making that noise the other day or yesterday. My car hasn't made that noise before, so I have no idea what's going on. Camera, the light in the car. Welcome to afternoon in Denver. But, you know, so my car is grounded, and so that means we're grounded. You know, I'll barely be able to get him to school on, you know, mornings. So, I had to get Aaron inside because, yep, he's hungry for lunch, and he got cold out there playing in the snow. So I was trying to score a jump start earlier. But, Aaron, honey, please don't show the food in your mouth. That is a yucky. We don't do that. Thank you, honey. I know you're being silly. I know. But, anyways, love you, honeys. I'll be right back at ya. Hey there again. Aaron wanted to be in the video, but he wanted to show the food in his mouth. So, anywho's, it's... you know, as I was saying, you know, the car is in terrible shape, but for now it needs a starter and a battery. So, my words went away again. So basically, you know, I need that car in order to take care of my son, which is why our abuser and former owner picked out the Chevy Prism. He bought it from one of those salvaging scrap car, you know, I buy junk car signs you see on the side of the road that are handwritten. And he bought the car from one of those guys with the intent of keeping me dependent on him, you know, indefinitely, because I can't afford my own car and I can't afford to keep that thing running. So, you know, but that's what I need in order to take care of my son, because despite my former owner's plans, you know, I managed to get the restraining order. I got him out of the house, and existence hasn't, oh, excuse me, my arm gets tired. I don't have a GoPro budget either, so continuing on. We basically need that Chevy in order, you know, for me to take care of Aaron, for me to take care of myself, for groceries, doctor's appointments, anything like that, because walking to and from bus stops and hauling anything on the bus is impossible for me. So I literally need a vehicle to get by. And so that is why the former owner designed, you know, the idea to get a junk car that would keep me dependent on him. And now that I'm, you know, managed to be rid of him anyway, despite that, you know, I need help in order to maintain and take care of that car or get a new one or something. You know, I need help here, because all I have is TANF and food stamps, and TANF pays the rent, the insurance for the car that doesn't run, and, you know, my minimal phone bill and a couple other minor bills. You know, I don't have extravagant expenses. And, you know, I'm running my businesses on minimal budget. You know, supplies are my only expense. I, you know, do free publicity, free internet sites. Everything is free except for my supplies to, you know, try and make my jewelry and my crafts. So, you know, I need, you know, instead of trying to post a GoFundMe, I'm going to ask you to please, you know, give patronage to the products I offer for sale. I've got t-shirts on Teespring. I've got my jewelry on the HippieClectic Hope at Simple Site. I've got my Patreon account. I'll have to leave my links here, but, you know, I need help in order to take care of my son, in order to take care of my Chevy, or get something that's better than it, that doesn't need thousands of dollars in repairs, but a battery and a starter today. You know, it's, I need a lot of help, because the system doesn't help some things like me. You know, it's a situation I shouldn't have gotten myself into. Well, I didn't have a choice. I was made homeless because that's what humans do to some things like me when we aren't useful enough. And I couldn't, such a long story. I don't want to start complaining about long stories from years ago anyway, but the situation that got me to be homeless was not my fault. I was made homeless because the job I got, the employer never paid me, yet forced me to continue working for 6 months. Doug Condon, as in Condon Oil. You know, I was, quote-unquote, employed by his computer repair business, and, you know, for 6 months he never paid me. Every time I told him, dude, if you don't pay me this month, I'm quitting, you know, because it was supposed to be month by month, because I met him through looking for a place to rent when my ex had a midlife crisis, and idiot started hitting the crack pipe again. So, but he had the option of moving back in with his mom, and I didn't have an option, and I didn't have a crack addiction. So I became homeless in Wisconsin, which you can't do because they'll straight up arrest you for vagrancy and throw you in jail. Homelessness is a crime in Wisconsin. And so, you know, I tried to find a place to rent, I tried to find a job, and here this Doug Condon was offering both. You know, he had condos for rent, and, you know, he asked me, what are you doing for work? It's like, well, I freelance, you know, I fix computers, I do some yard work, you know, I do some decorating, I, you know, do a little this, a little that, you know, all legitimate hustles. And he's like, well, you know what, I'm just starting a computer repair business, how about I hire you on? And so, you know, so that's how it came to be, you know. So I ended up living in a condo and with a quote-unquote job, but I had to pay him the rent, and I never got paid my earnings. You know, he still owes me 10 grand in hours and expenses that I had to shell out my money for his software and hardware. And he, you know, what Andrew Yang says about exploitative jobs and relationships, I was basically made Doug Condon's property, although he never stated it. I was permitted to live in his condo and forced to work unpaid. You know, I had to pay him rent. He didn't have to pay me labor, expenses, anything. I was his commodity. And, sorry, I'm leaning up on the door here. But, you know, this is what brought me to Denver. And, you know, being in a battered women's shelter from that situation. And that's how I met Thomas Stetzer, who's my final owner. You know, he's the one who took me property, you know, took me as his property on Mother's Day of 2014, and, you know, raped me for 14 months. I'm trying not to say that too loud because Aaron's in the next room. And, you know, this is where we are 5 years later. It's, you know, 5.5 years later, trying to survive after having finally gotten our owner out of the home in February. It's now the tail end of October, and I don't have a car again because that's what my owner wanted. He wanted that Chevy to be stuck in the driveway so I would be needing his help and I couldn't get rid of him. Well, I had to risk it anyway because, you know, why exist at knife point, you know, in your own home? It's not like he was any good for anything that didn't come at knife point. Aaron, honey. So, in these 8 months since captivity ended, the former owner has resorted to selling gram bags of marijuana, trafficking a string of prostitutes, you know, disposable. He's been, I don't mean that they're disposable, I mean that he's been disposing of them. He's gone through 3 or 4 in the first 6 months of Operation Freedom. So, you know, that's what I meant to say. But, you know, when they're all alcoholic, addicted to meth, I've seen them in court. I know those women from when I was homeless out here. And, you know, so this is what his life has become. And, you know, meanwhile, me and my son, you know, I had to fly cardboard for a couple of months this spring to try and make, you know, some money happen so I could try and, you know, launch some kind of business or some kind of work because, you know, I'm physically disabled and can't work a standard job. Like, if Bernie Sanders has the chance to roll out the federal jobs guarantee, my life will be hell. I'll be assigned to a job that my body can't do, and my bosses and my coworkers will be just as abusive and nasty as at every other job, and Bernie Sanders getting elected will result in suicide if I can't get to Canada because I can't exist under the conditions he'll create. I can't. So I'm trying to launch these businesses in the entrepreneurial spirit, which is what drew me to Andrew Yang, because he's, you know, so supportive of, you know, people getting out from under abusive situations that we get stuck in because society has decided that some of us are less than human. And so I need to take care of my son, and I'm not going to resort to selling gram bags of marijuana because that's dumb. I could have done that in Wisconsin. Well, for one thing, sorry, I gotta come up with the dumbest reason first. But it's, you know, I have to laugh at life or else I would just, man, fall apart. But I'm trying to launch my businesses. I'm going to have to put the Yang the Yang gear on hold until either I get a straight answer from the marketing department or something happens, but I can't keep bootlegging for free, obviously. So, you know, I'm designing t-shirts for, you know, the benefit of my family, myself, my son, and our companion, Kitty. And, you know, I have the t-shirts on a couple different sites. I'll get more designed when I have some time. With Denver schools being closed and I can't get to my appointments, and I'll do what I can to get more designs up. But I have jewelry up and available at my Simple site, and I have my Patreon account. So hopefully, you know, I really need help and support to get my family moving forward, because, you know, otherwise we're just going to fall into the trap that our former owner designed, and it's not like I'm ever going to call him back to take care of us, because that's bullshit. He'll just kill us. But I need help in order to be a mom. I need my... oh no. But I need help and support with my businesses. So please, you know, come visit the links I'm going to leave down in the descriptions. Please help us, you know, take care of ourselves and start our lives moving forward instead of being caught in the abuse and ownership cycle. This is the first time in both our lives that my son and I have not actively been held as someone's property one time after another after another. This is the first time that we have not been in captivity. But I need help in order to survive in a legitimate manner. Because whereas our final owner has, you know, resorted to selling weed and trafficking prostitutes who are addicted to meth and alcohol, so he's probably selling meth, and he's got his SNAP card acquired snacks, and he buys his candy from his boosters. You know, that's not the life that I'm going to provide for my son and myself. I won't do it. I can't do it. That's just, it's a disgusting way to live. You know, just where everything is according to a criminal hustle. I need to run a legitimate business, and I'm trying so hard. But I need, you know, help and support from folks like you to, you know, help us make it. So, thank you for watching this video, and for, you know, for going to visit the links I'm going to provide, and, you know, thank you, you know, for any help you're able to give us. You know, this sucks, but I'm, you know, if business actually starts, then we can survive and get out from under the welfare trap. But I need help. Please, please, go visit the links I'm going to send and help in any way you can. Aaron and I really appreciate it, and we really need the help. So, thank you very much. Have a blessed day.